Hello and welcome back to the Tsunami game series. This is episode 2 of the series. I highly recommend watching episode 1 if you have not yet, but I have a couple of goals in mind for this episode. I want to teleport players to the chosen map. I want to count down the round, and I want to strip some leader stats so we could have a currency. And I want to save data so that maybe we could have a shop. And now that I've cleared that out of my way, let's get on with the video. Okay, so it's GS my computer fan. You probably can hear it, but I did notice you can call it a bug in the round system script. So I forgot to clone the chosen map. So it was taking the maps out of the maps folder, and the maps weren't there anymore. So we got to clone it. So I'm going to start off by saying local chosen map clone equals chosen map clone. That'll clone it so that we can have an infinite amount of copies of maps. And instead of saying chosen map.parent equals workspace, we're going to say chosen map clone dot parent equals workspace. And that finishes off the bug for the script. And I'm just going to delete that for now. But now we're going to do the teleportation. And so we're going to have a for loop, which loops through all the players inside the lobby players table. So we're going to say for I, player in pairs, lobby players do. So it's just going to loop through every single object in case the player, in this case it's going to be the player. So what we can do now is we can check if the player exists. So if player, then we're going to say that local character equals player.character, and we're going to remove them from the lobby players table. So table.remove, and we're going to remove them from the lobby players table, and we're going to remove the first object, which in this case is the player. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get out of this if statement and have another for loop, which is going to be the same thing, except it's going to loop through all the players in the game. So for I, player in pairs, game.players, get players, do. And now we're going to check if the player exists, which in this case it should be. And we're going to, so if the player does exist, we're going to insert them into the table, just like that. And now we can insert them into the table by saying table.insert, and then in-game players, which is the table we're going to insert them into, and we're going to say toString. So this is going to convert an instance or something to a string. So, and then we're going to say the player. So that's just going to convert the number of the player. So the player could be number 1, number 2 is going to convert them to a string, to their player name. So now that we have that, we're going to say if player, then it's going to say else the player doesn't exist. And so now that is the entire actually we have not teleported the players yet, so we're going to use we're going to use something called move to, which is a property of player.character. So we can say player.character equals colon move to, so it's just going to move them, and then we're going to say vector3.new, and then we're going to have a position which we teleport to the players. So in this case it's going to be -36, 2, and 351.4, and that should be perfect. And then now we just need to do that. So that is the entire script for it. So now what we're going to do is this is that. And now we're going to say this tsunami script Hopefully we can have the tsunami working by next episode. I don't have plans of it working today. So now we're just going to say, we're just going to print tsunami begun, and we're just going to count down the round, and we're going to say local tsunami, and we're just going to leave that as blank for now. We're going to leave it as nil, and we're going to have a countdown that counts down the entire round from like 10, 9, 8, etc. So we're going to say for I equals round length, and round length is a local variable right here. It's set to 10 seconds, and we're going to say we're going to count down to 0, and we're going to subtract it by 1, and we're going to subtract it by 1 every second. And now we can say intermission status dot value equals we can say round in progress, and we're going to use a concatenation, which connects like a string and a number, no, not a number, like an instance or an object together. So we can say dot dot, and that's a concatenation, and we just say I, and I is equal to like 9, 8, 7, 6, the countdown. So that's all we're going to do for today. So we're going to wait 5 seconds, and then we're going to print round ended, and we're going to destroy the chosen map clone so that it doesn't just stay there. It's going to just be gone forever. So we're going to say chosen map clone : destroy, and that is the entire round system script for today. It is to right now it is 106 lines of code, so that is quite a bit. So let's give it a little test and see how well it runs. Okay, so before I, well, yes, it is counting down, it's working. I did make a couple changes to Studio, like I changed the sky and I disabled player collisions. But we got as far as when the player, so we got as far to where the map would spawn in, but we wouldn't teleport. But as you can see, it says random progress. It has a typo, and it counts down, and when it does, the chosen map is destroyed. Whoopsies, something wrong here. Oh, nope, nothing's wrong. I was just waiting the 5 seconds. So yeah, it's working perfectly fine. So maybe by next episode we can have a tsunami script, and maybe we could actually, when the round ends, we could teleport the players back and like give a reward or something. But before we can give players a reward, we have to have some sort of data, so we can have like a currency. So here's my player collision script, by the way. So we're going to create a new script in the server script service, and I'm just going to call it the data handler. And I'm not going to go through step by step on how to make this, but if you do want to know how to make this, then I have a link of a tutorial of mine in the description or in the card in the top right of your screen. But so I'll be right back. I'm going to copy it, and then I have to make some edits to it because I don't want the currency to be called money. So I'll be right back. Oh, and if you're ever using like data stores, make sure you go to game settings and make sure you have API services on so that you can access data stores in Studio. So I'm going to make these edits to the script. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I changed the currency to points right here, as you can see, instead of money. That just kind of makes a bit more sense to me. That's just my opinion. But anyways, let's test it to see if it's working properly. So I'll be right back. Okay, so if I just give myself some points with a command, and I leave the game, it should be saving. So if, as you can see, I do have 100 points. So if I leave the game and I rejoin the game, I should have 100 points instead of 10 points. I did make it to where if you're a new player, you start off with 10 points. I think I might remove that. I'm not quite sure about that. definitely think about it. But if I wait for it to load, my computer's a bit slow right now. You can see I have 100 points still, and I should have had 10 if I didn't use data storage to save it. So yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to do for this episode. So I hope you guys have a great day. This episode was a bit shorter than the last episode. I've put tons of effort into specifically these videos, over 10 hours in this one. So I would appreciate if you would subscribe and press the like button, and even better, the notifications bell. So I'll see you guys in the next one.